Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look at Bitcoin, hopefully helping you understand best practice and big picture. We're going to look at this red candle and see if there's any more red in the future here, of course. So if that is something that you're interested in, obviously stick around. If you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below, of course. You can join my Trading Academy community and Signal group. We have a lot of awesome traders here in the group, so fantastic job everyone here recently. Also, furthermore too, we took some nice profits, good 55% in just under 4 days for Bitcoin. So to me, earning a small percentage like that every few days is perfectly fine. It slowly grows the account. You can't get too greedy in this market, okay? So again, awesome stuff there. Very last thing is all of our members are using Bitget as a fantastic exchange, the best exchange in the world, in my personal opinion. We also have a $10,000 prize pool monthly. If you use the link in the description below, you'll qualify for that by default. You will need a VPN if you're in a country that is restricted, so keep that in mind. I do have a partnership here with ExpressVPN, where you get an extra 3 months free for a 12-month plan, which is also fairly inexpensive. So very much worth getting into that, just based on, even if you're not trading crypto, you should protect yourself with something along those lines. So take a look here at Bitcoin with the Bitcoin market. What is going on here? My goodness. So the current market's pretty abysmal, pretty much a sea of red, as we're kind of used to, unfortunately, by now, but it is definitely par for the course. Nice to see this in that sense too, to kind of be able to take profits in a red market. You can still be profitable no matter what the conditions are. But if you take a look at traditional markets, NASDAQ and S&P are both suffering and struggling very, very hard. Bitcoin dominance is up, which implies a lot of altcoins are getting hit very hard. So be cautious trading altcoins at this moment. And when it comes to Bitcoin, we have some things we want to look at here. So first of all, we took a dip down below 50 on the RSI. That's a pretty standard indication that we are now more so a little bit on the bearish side. Okay, now we had 3 days of false positives here. This was kind of somewhat of a dead cat, you could say. Typically, that's a bounce, but in this case, it really wasn't. There was no bounce. It was just kind of this strong fundamental data from Tuesday and Wednesday, and then of course reality hit the fan and the price came back down because it was too overextended getting into those good news, or at least the neutral news for the FOMC meeting, of course, for inflation 0.5%, and then CPI data actually was favorable this year, or this month rather. But anyways, no matter how you look at it, we take a look at the MACD. We are starting to diverge here. We're on our way to a divergence, which is never positive. So in this sense here, we're not there yet, but it is safe to presume that we're absolutely bearish for the moment. We also got rejected quite hard off of 50 on the RSI, as you can kind of see here. Sorry, I misspoke. 50 on the moving average. So the 50-day simple moving average right here essentially is holding the price action in place. So as I mentioned yesterday, until we get above and beyond that, we're not going to be able to have a leg to stand on as far as long positions are concerned. Not to say you can't still benefit from longs. I mean, I'm planning to open perhaps some longs, maybe even this weekend, with a slight relief rally. But on the same accord, I'm going to wait for confirmation before I do that. And I think you should too, but the bottom line is being under 50 on the RSI and the simple moving average is never advantageous. So we literally have all signs here pointing down for Bitcoin. Taking a look at the 4 hour, we can kind of see very similar here where the price action's testing the 200-day simple moving average on the 4 hour. That could potentially work as a support level, but I wouldn't expect that to hold. The one thing that is positive here, of course, we have 30 on the RSI is getting tested right now. And if you look at this history, again, minus massive dumps from FTX, it's not super common for the price to dip below 30 on the RSI. Okay, so again, something that's just important to kind of recognize there. We are overextended to the downside, it looks like. We can also see that even though we got a little bit of a reset here, we are technically 9 candlesticks into this downward trend. So hypothetically, we could have a good 24 to 48 hours left of bearish continuation and or sideways action before we see recovery. Okay, so I wouldn't expect the price to just bounce back anytime soon. Pretty much everything on the indications is telling us that a long position is not viable at this point. If you do take a long position, consider multiple entry targets, where you just say you get in now at 16.8, perhaps a secondary target at the next Fibonacci retracement level of 16.6, or even further, maybe around 16.1 or 16.2. There's a great chance we will see something like that, especially since we have broken through this support level and we are trending down, I would say positively if you've got a short position open, but more so trending down very consistently right now. Okay, so again, this trend line, we can kind of extend it out and kind of see, generally speaking, there's a good chance we're going to see a retest and the price action continue lower. Again, mostly just based on the simple fact that we have bearish indications on both the daily and the 4 hour. The hourly could tell us a different story. Let's see what it says here, and we'll call it a day. So taking a look at the 1 hour, TD sequential is kind of giving us the indication that there's not a lot going on. We keep getting these little resets and these drops. So it comes down to a Fibonacci retracement level, consolidates, drops again. There's a great chance we could very well see 16.6 retested and then potential continuation lower. What we want to also look at too concurrently here is the Ichimoku cloud and kind of see where we're at. So conversion line is now below the baseline. We gain that momentum to the downside, which is what we saw on the 4-hour MACD as well, kind of pushing down harder. We also got the lagging span free and clear of price action, and of course this here with the cloud, the upper and lower lead, kind of holding the price action in place. So in that regard, what you want to do here in this situation is if you have a long position open, you may want to consider closing that position. Keep in mind, of course, there's a lot of different variables, and obviously the kind of trade that you might have open is a different story. But if you have a short, this is basically telling us to leave your short position open. There's literally nothing here. There's like a 90% probability of further downside based on what we see here so far. So again, if you do take a long position, multiple entry targets, so you can average your price down, perhaps even dollar cost average if you feel like this is a good fit. But furthermore, keep your short position open if you do. So again, as a community here with our short position, this is a short, by the way. We want to keep that open and continue to maintain our profit targets as a strong likelihood of coming down further. Okay, so again, it just feels like we're going to see a little bit further downside at the very least, maybe 16.6 as a test there, maybe even 16.1 or 2, just depending on how things go. So obviously, we'll find out here soon what's going to occur, but it's not looking great. There is no sign here at all really giving us an indication to take a long position, unless, of course, again, you average down. Right? Different strategies for different folks. So again, use your risk tolerance. Work within your own risk tolerance and make sure that you are being the safest trader possible. Try not to fall asleep with a position open when you know that it's only supposed to be held for a short amount of time. That being said, that's pretty much where we're at. If you're not currently a community member, again, consider joining. We've got a lot of members coming over. I forgot to mention this too. We are adjusting rates next month and moving forward. So for all my current members, you are grandfathered in, keep that in mind. But if you join this month, of course, you'll have the opportunity to be able to maintain that price point throughout the your entire time. Okay, so again, that you lock in your rate essentially by doing that. So just a heads up on that so you understand and you're not surprised when you go to try to register next year. All right, so that is pretty much all we got here for you. Thank you so much again for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.